Law Talk with Nick Maruchak, thanks to MKI Legal, your trusted employment and family lawyers.
I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
All righty, Nick Maruchak's in the studio. 133 882 is the number. G'day, mate.
Hey, Gary.
Enjoying the warm. Do you enjoy the warmer weather? Are you a beachy type of person, Nick Maruchak?
Yeah, I am. For about a month, and then about a month in, I start to miss the rain and the winter.
You only need a month of summer.
Yeah, then I get bored.
Okay, yeah, I must admit I'm a bit of a seasons type of guy. All right, well, let's get on with it. We've got Jason on the line, 133 882 if you want to speak to Nick. Jason's there. How can we help you, mate?
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Thanks, Nick, for taking the call. I understand that the caravan parks and camping grounds regulations to the 95 Act have changed as of the 1st of September. And what they're saying now is that with permission from the local shire, you can now have a caravan on your private property, that is out the back of my residential property, and live in it for 24 months in a row and then reapply for another 24 months at its expiration. Am I allowed to advertise that caravan in the open market for rental and have a real estate agent manage it for me?
Yeah, so I had a look at these laws. You need approval if it's more than 5 nights. So less than 5 nights, you just need approval from the property owner. I have to have a look at it closer to see if there are any restrictions on advertising, and I can give you a call back. But my understanding is if you've got approval from the council, then you should be able to advertise it. I don't see any restrictions.
We've seen them.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, we've certainly seen here at the program ads for caravans in the current sort of, housing shortage issue. We've definitely seen it, and we've sort of rung a couple of them to see if we could speak to them on air as to how they go about it. I can tell you I've seen it. I don't know whether they're breaking a law, but
no,
I've
if you've seen
ads.
it, it's fine, yeah. So basically, the thing to remember, it has to be temporary accommodation. So don't put any permanent structures on there because it has to be. You can't convert it to a permanent waste. So remember, so if you want to turn it into an Airbnb style accommodation, that might infringe the regulations.
So like toilets and stuff. Like obviously, if you wanted to put in a toilet inside the caravan, then you'd have to go through the whole sewage thing and getting connected up. So that would be involved. I don't know whether it fits in. Jason, have you put your caravan there yet?
No, I'm about to. I want to.
Yeah.
So the process and so forth going through the local shire is pretty straightforward. It's actually the health department of the LGA that gives you approval,
right?
Because the caravan's already built to a certain code, so it's not even a planning and/or building because it is temporary.
Yeah.
How long temporary is going to be, I don't know. But if I can have it for 2 years, 24 months, I'd like to go and advertise that and sign up a tenant for 12 months or 24 months.
I've certainly seen the ads, mate. I can tell you right now because I think we rang, not this isn't your case, but we certainly rang one where they're advertising the caravan and we could sort of see the state of it and we saw the rent and thought, you've got to be kidding. Are things that bad out there that people would pay that sort of rent? So the ads are out there, whether they're in breach or not. We can perhaps look it up and get back to you.
Yeah, my view is it isn't.
We don't think it is. We don't think it is, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good luck with it, Jason.
I'll give you a call back.
Yeah, all right, mate. Thanks for that. Let's go to Caroline. Hello, Caroline.
Oh, hi, Gary. Hi, Nick. Thank you very much for this opportunity. This is in regards to my mum. She's currently caught up in some scam situations around gift cards and things. And my question is with Aldi in particular, where they have approved large donations of gift cards of around about $2,500 to the point where the store manager actually approves these transactions. And my mum, not knowing better, is Aldi in any way, I guess, is liable for allowing these transactions to happen?
That's an interesting question.
It's interesting in timing as well. If I just jump in there for a second, because I will be talking about this issue with the Australian Financial. The acronym's gone out of my name. They're called AFCA.
Yep, Australian Financial Complaints Authority.
Okay, and I know that they want to raise this issue. So it might be something that they are in breach of. Yes, Caroline. But Nick, what do you think?
I think that if a shop owner has a reasonable suspicion that elderly person is being scammed, then they should take action to disencourage the person from purchasing the gift cards, especially such a high quantity. I need to have a closer look to see if there's any specific laws in relation to this, because nothing comes to mind at the moment. I know in some other jurisdictions there are. And so this will be potentially along the lines of money laundering laws as well. So there could be a provision in relation to that as well as AFCA. So I'm going to have a deeper look at this and maybe give you a call back to see what we can do, and maybe we can discuss this next week.
In the meantime, Caroline, I would strongly suggest that you go to their website. So the acronym is ACFA, ACFA, okay?
Okay, yep.
Because they've sort of come up with the report into the sort of scams and the sort of issues that are going on at the moment. I know that they talk about retail, but maybe you'll find it there as well. You might find some answers as to whether or not that's in breach on there. So if that helps you, okay?
Yeah, I did have a look at the Aldi website, for example, to see if there's any notice on there for, scam watch activity and things like that. Whereas Coles and Woolworths, they have it clearly, they have it clearly outlined to beware of scam activity. And with the Aldi website, it was just directing cyber crime. So it was more around that they don't do competitions, giveaways, bonus gift cards and things like that, but nothing around, being cautious of buying gift cards for potential scammers and things like that. So that's the reason why I thought I'll at least ask the question, because we're talking tens of thousands of dollars, unfortunately, in such a short period of time.
Oh, no. Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah.
Well, look, have a look at that ACFA thing. We'll see what we can find out when we speak to them. Are they going to address the retail stuff? But and Nick will have a look as well and see if we can get you specific answers. But I reckon their website might be helpful to you. Caroline, thanks very much for calling through. It's 11:45, 133 882. Nick Maruchak is in the studio. If you've got any questions that you'd like to ask at the moment, give us a bell right now. Yeah, right now we're in Law Talk with Nick Maruchak from MKI Legal. We're going to go back to the lines, Nick. John's there. How can we help you, John?
Oh, yeah, look, I've got a bit of a story. Commonwealth Bank wrote a letter to my son and basically closed down his bank account, his credit card and his ComSec account. So we inquired as to the reason, and the bank says, we don't give any reason. And then we felt this was a bit unreasonable, so we put a complaint into AFCA. I've been running with it. I've got power of attorney to act on his behalf. AFCA came back and said they'll contact the bank. And so the bank rang up and said, look, we'll offer $250 to settle this. And I said, well, look, it's not about $250. We want to know why. We haven't done anything wrong in our view. I went through all his transactions for 2 years, couldn't see anything in there. He doesn't do any transactions with Russia, or he doesn't do any crypto. He hasn't abused anyone in the bank branch or anything. So we just wanted to know why, and they won't tell us. And so we rejected the $250 and said we want to know why, as opposed to getting a cash payment. And then they upped it to $500. And I said, well, hang on a minute. This is what's going on with the banking industry going mad or what? Just tell us what we did wrong, and we're happy to move on. The next minute I get an email from them saying we're upping it to $1,000.
Yeah.
So they're trying to...
I can tell you.
They're trying to get rid of me.
Yeah. So
trying to get rid of me.
Yeah. So basically, because my understanding is the bank is liable for paying the AFCA costs, right? So AFCA is this external dispute resolution process that all finance companies have to have. So if you go to AFCA, they've got this extra cost they have to pay to deal with that dispute. So they often do give you monetary incentives not to take it further and resolve. Because the good thing about AFCA is that you can take it, and if you win or lose, you don't have to pay legal costs, right? So that's under the AFCA rules. You can also get compensation up to $5,000 for mental distress, inconvenience that you've suffered as a result of your experience. So, and so these banks are bound by the banking code of practice. There's obligations they have to follow. And I'm just confused why they didn't give you a reason, right?
How old's your son?
He's 25.
Oh, right.
So, but he suffers a little bit of, he gets depressed about things, right? And this one really hit him hard. He said, "What have I done wrong?" I said, "I'm doing my best to find out, but the bank won't tell me." So he had to go and see a therapist. He had to go and he missed some time off work and, things like that. So we put a claim in of about that amount, about $5,000 was his cost. And, we had to detail all that.
Yeah.
We had to detail all that, which is fair enough, which we did, put in a spreadsheet, put in all the backup to all that. And that's when they came back with $1,000.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it doesn't even cover our costs. This boy's gone through this bloody trauma, had to go and open up new bank accounts and go through all that rigmarole and change everything everywhere. And we just want to know why.
Yeah.
And so the final thing is I wrote the bank a letter, which is through AFCA, and I said, how come I can't write to the bank? Why do I have to go through AFCA? I mean, it's pretty telling, isn't it? And I wrote them a letter. I said, basically, we want to know why, and we want our costs paid, And they came back and said, we're withdrawing our $1,000 offer, and we're going to close the complaint.
Gee whiz.
Did AFCA close it?
That at the moment.
So who closed the complaint? The Commonwealth Bank closed the complaint, or AFCA did?
Well, AFCA rang me up and said, they said the bank's not going to give you a reason, and they've now withdrawn their offer of cash, so we're just going to close the case. And I said to the guy, it's not closed. It's not resolved. How can you close it? So
bizarre. It's all bizarre for me. I don't get it.
Because there should be a decision, right? So you can I would push it for a decision. You go on AFCA's website, you can see all the decisions they make, and they give a reason for the decision. Here, like AFCA can't force the bank to open the account, but they can compensate you for any loss if they didn't do it in a fair way.
All right. Look, mate, it could go around in circles, but I'm just saying that Nick's probably right. Just push it for a decision so that makes them look into it further. I don't know. That's bizarre. Sean's there. Hello, Sean. This is an interesting one.
G'day, mate.
G'day.
Do FIFO.
Yeah.
Hello, you there?
Yeah, we're listening, mate. We're listening.
Yeah. Sorry, I do FIFO. I got dismissed last week. In my camp accommodation, my neighbour complained that I slammed the door. I worked for a company that was contracting to a Tier 1 miner, as they are. And, I just thought it was rather bizarre that slamming a door.
Nothing else?
And
yeah. That sounds like there wouldn't be a valid reason to terminate someone, right? Unless you did it in an angry way or a threatening way, like abusive, violent way, that might be a valid reason to dismiss. So, but slamming a door a little bit loud, first time, especially if you haven't got any disciplinary issues, that's probably not a valid reason. So if you're under $175,000 or you're covered by a modern award or an EBA and you've been there for, say, more than 6 months, if the company's got more than 15 employees, you can lodge an unfair dismissal claim. And that's what you should consider. You have 21 days to lodge that claim. And if you win, you can get up to 6 months' salary. That's kind of the maximum you get. But usually with these kind of claims, you lodge it. If you meet that criteria, you go to a conciliation with the employer. And often a lot of these cases do settle. They may not give you 6 months, but you might settle for something less. So I think that if you meet that criteria, then an unfair dismissal is very appropriate. If you don't meet that criteria, haven't been there long enough, or you earn too much money, then you can't do an unfair dismissal. So unfair dismissal is only for certain protected employees. But I think if you do meet the criteria, I think you've got a good case.
All right. Okay. Interesting one. Slamming doors. Crikey, if we got done for that around here, there'd be no one in a job.
No.
Nick Maruchak, busy half hour. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you, Gary.
Good on you. Okay, it's coming up to 4 minutes to 12.